I'll first share an experience with you. So, there's this young brother, Kumar, who had been visiting yesterday, and he told me, "Can you teach me time travel?" So, do you people do time travel? So I said, "You have to tell me why you want to do it, and then I can tell you whether we do it or not." So he said, "I want to go back in time and change some things." So I said, "Okay, so what do you want to change?" So he said, "Some things in my childhood." So I said, "Okay, and then what will happen if you change that?" So he said, "Then all the events that followed will change." So I said, "And what about those events which preceded those incidents in childhood? Because you are believing in continuity, right? So what happened in childhood is impacting you today. So then that is the cause and this is the effect. So what happened in childhood must also be the effect of something. And then if you don't change the cause of that, then what happens? Then again, that same pattern has to follow. So then he said, "Okay, so if I learn time travel, I'll go and change that also." And then he said, "Then you see, then this is a whole continuity. So then you have to go to the beginning, right?" So he said, "Yes. So I have to go to the beginning and change the mistake that I made." So I said, "Okay. So now we agree on that. So you have to go to where you began the mistake." So he said, "Yes." So I said, "And what was there before that?" So he said, "Before that all should be all right." So I said, "Yes. So do you believe that there was a time where everything was all right?" So he said, "Yes, why don't you just teach me time travel? I don't want to think so much." And then I told him, "So you see that where is that event that happened in your childhood?" So he said, "In my childhood." So I said, "Where is your childhood right now? Does it exist?" So he said, "No, it's in the past." So I said, "Yes, so where is it existing right now?" So he said, "My memory." So I said, "So basically, you want to cleanse your memory of everything that you're carrying as a memory of whatever went wrong. So there is a time when things started going wrong and you are carrying that residue in your memory. And now you want to clean that memory." So he said, "Yes." So I said, "Now you see, there is no delete button. So what you have to do in order to clean the memory is remember the time where everything was good and emerge that memory." So I said, "How do I emerge a memory?" So I said, "By constantly repeating it." So how did you reinforce this sense of sorrow and grief? By over and over repeating what happened in childhood. Yes, so if you start repeating over and over again what happened when everything was good, so then you can get over or rewrite this new memory. So then I asked him, "Does it make sense?" So he said, "Yes." So then I said, "So now you have to understand the details of when everything was good and right and fine." Yes, so I said, "And this time travel we can teach you." So we do this. So he said, okay. So then I gave him the, so he had come for the first time, but then because he was so much into this time thing, so I had to tell him the three aspects of time, the beginning, middle, and end. And then he said, so what do I have to do now? So I said, constantly keep remembering how you were and how the world was and how your relationships were in heaven. So when you were in that world of happiness, how was everything? And when you keep constantly remembering that, then all that you remember which causes you sorrow will be overwritten. So he said, okay, so, and what about meditation? So I said, this is also meditation. So then I told him that, it's not just time travel, but there's space travel also. So you can also, go to two other spaces. So you see, Baba gives us the three aspects of time, and Baba gives us the knowledge of the three worlds. And if you look at Gyan, basically Baba tells us the truth about the three worlds, the angelic region, the incorporeal soul world, and this corporeal world. And this corporeal world, Baba talks about three times: the past, the present, and the future. Or you can say beginning, middle, and end. And then Baba says that whatever you do, whatever the soul does, is done through the buddhi. So you don't have to go anywhere physically. You have to just remove your buddhi yoga from here and anchor it to the world of purity, world of peace, the soul world, or to the world where you can have pure exchanges with every soul and everything and everyone around you. That is the subtle region. And when you keep doing that, and when you keep going back to that world of heaven with your buddhi, where there is love, there is peace, there is happiness, and you keep hitting on that memory, then that memory emerges and the other stuff, it submerges. So this whole process of yoga is about merge and emerge. Yes, so when you are remembering what you want to remember, then that memory emerges, and then when you stop remembering that which you want to forget, then that memory merges, or it goes latent because you're not remembering it. Now you see that Baba today in the Murli says that if you want to emerge your pure sanskars, then you have to do yoga. And everybody, now when we come to Gyan, we understand that the sansar is not the problem. The world is not the problem. The sanskar is the problem. Yes, because your sanskars are the basis of how you see the world. So your sanskars are precisely like the specs that you're wearing, and they are not transparent, they are colored. And so you see all that color in the world which doesn't actually exist, but you can see insult, you can see sorrow where other people can't see it. Yes, I remember there was this one there were these two ladies who visited the center. They came from their respective places and they were sitting in front of me at the same time, but they didn't know each other. So one lady, she was saying that when I was expecting my child, my husband behaved really badly. So I said, what was that bad behavior? So she said, he never cared to take me to the hospital. He never asked if I need something. He was, he completely abandoned me. And she started crying. And then the other lady, she was just looking at her as if, she's talking nonsense. And then I asked her, why are you looking at her like that? So she said, I have 4 children and my husband never did the same, but I am not crying like her and I have no complaints and I don't even think like that. So why is she crying like this? And you are taking this sorrow upon yourself. And then they started arguing about, husband's duties, women's rights and all. And then I had to put them in 2 different rooms and tell them we'll talk to you separately. So you see that one person is experiencing acute sorrow in a situation and the other person even fails to understand why this person is feeling so much sorrow. So it's all about sanskars. So you see, it's all about how your buddhi is, what your belief systems are, and what your sanskar is. And I'll tell you one thing, there was this one incident where there was a mentor I had, and that mentor did not support me when the support was needed. And then there were at least 15 people who told me at that time that this person really betrayed you and they shouldn't have done that. And this is wrong and this is, this is gross and this person should have stood up for you at that time. And I don't know, but I had no expectations from anybody. So I said, no, but they are not here for me. They are here for themselves. I am here for me. So if they did not feel they did not feel that it was good for them to support me, then they chose not to. And it's okay. We are all here for ourselves. We are not here for anybody. And if anybody does it for you, good, gratitude for them. But if they don't, it's okay. And everybody is entitled to make their choices. And if somebody thinks that, by supporting me in some situation, they will fall into trouble and they don't have the courage to do that, then I completely understand that. So they said, but you respect them so much. So I said, I respect everybody. That's not a problem. So my respect is not conditional upon they supporting me in time of need, and it is okay. And anyways, I told that person that, you see, did I lose out on anything? Did anything wrong happen to me? So they said no. So I said, so why, if they had supported me and I had to be in the same place, I'm unharmed and I would be unharmed if they supported me. So that would be like an extra burden of help that I carry from a person, right? So I am with or without their support, I am in the same place. So why should I take their, their ihsan? What do you call ihsan in English? I don't know. So why should I take that extra burden? I don't need to. And in this way, I came to an experience that with or without any human support, obligation, yes. So why should I take anybody's obligation? So then I told them that, in these times when nobody supports you, you feel Baba's hand, you feel Baba's support. And that's so beautiful. So I, in fact, thank that person for not supporting me, because sometimes, Baba's support is overshadowed by human support just because you can see human beings. So you see, it depends on your sanskar, how you look at something, or it depends on your buddhi, how you've programmed yourself. So if you program yourself in the true way, and if you clean your sanskars, then basically nothing is a cause of sorrow to you, or nothing is a cause of any negative emotion to you. And Baba says that your problem is not the sansar, it's your sanskar. And it takes time to see that, because you see that why we don't work on our sanskar, why we work on the sansar, is because even after many years in Gyan, we don't get it that the problem is the sanskar. So this is why we still keep investing our time, thought, energy in changing the situation. Now you see, many BKs, they do yoga to change the situation. Yes, many BKs, they do yoga to change the situation. They would say, I am doing yoga to finish the obstacles. But the question is, where are the obstacles? Are the obstacles outside or inside? Because if you are doing yoga, or if you are if you're remembering Baba to finish the obstacles outside, then you're just wasting a very powerful source of energy. Because the problem is, you see, if you go to a doctor and the doctor doesn't diagnose the problem, and he is treating you continuously for the wrong problem, right? So you have a problem with, so he is treating the symptom, whereas he has not diagnosed the root. Then even if you get treated for 10 years, you will not be disease free. So this is why, even if you keep doing yoga to change the situation because you believe that the obstacle is outside, then that yoga is not going to do any good to you. So Baba says that you have to understand that the sanskar is the problem. So when you do yoga to change the sanskar. And when your sanskars are pure, so you sometimes we are just blessing the universe and creating beautiful scenes of favorable situations. Many are doing that, but if you just focused on creating a self for yourself, which is pure, peaceful, loveful, powerful, blissful, by remembering your Father and seeing yourself as an image of His qualities. So you see, when you see that this is my Baba, and my Baba is the ocean of knowledge, purity, peace, love, happiness, bliss and power, and then you are a soul, you are the child, and you have the same qualities. And when you see Baba as your parent, and you see yourself as the child, and you keep drawing the qualities into yourself, then all the other qualities which are not godly, they start merging, and these godly qualities in you, they start emerging. Yes, and when we come to Baba, we are told that there are 4 subjects: Gyan, Yog, Dharana, Seva. Yes, and most of the time, so you see, we understand the Gyan of Yoga. Yes, so when we read the Murli, when we listen to the class, we are learning how to do yoga. Yeah, what to do in yoga. But that is the Gyan of yoga, that is not yoga. Yes, so yoga is a different subject. You have to sit and do what you learn in the class. But how much do you do that? Because most of the time we are learning the Gyan of yoga, we are learning the Gyan of purity, we are learning the Gyan of seva, but we are not doing yoga, practicing purity or doing seva. So that's the interesting thing. And Baba says, how many hours of yoga do you need every day? At least 8 hours. At least 8 hours of yoga you need every day to burn your sins, which means to merge your old depleted sanskars and emerge your powerful sanskars. So at least for 8 hours, at least is underlined. So for at least 8 hours you have to sit in front of Baba with your buddhi and keep remembering that you are the child, what are your qualities, and how you are just the copy image of Baba, who is the ocean of all virtues and powers. And when you keep doing that, and it requires great practice. Yes, so when you have to do something repeatedly, it requires practice. Yes, but practice is required in everything. You play a sport, what is it about? Doing the same thing repeatedly. Yes, you learn dance, you learn music, what is it about? That sani dhapa you have to do always. That is how you learn and get good at anything. You don't learn and get good at anything without, if you have this fancy idea that I get bored and I can't do something repeatedly, then you can do nothing in life. Because everything requires repetition. Any practice, it requires repetition, and it is pretty boring always. But that's how you do everything. And there is this newfound fancy idea of I don't want to be bored, but you don't have to be bored by understanding why you're doing something and by understanding what it is making you. So when you hold that in your awareness, then that becomes the source of enthusiasm. You don't fight your boredom by jumping from one practice to the other. That's not how you deal with boredom. And there are many young Baba's children who come, and when they come, so I always ask them, what are you interested in? So they say, we are interested in everything and nothing. Yes, so we like doing everything sometimes and then nothing always. But that is not going to take you anywhere. So you have to be interested in something so much that you can do it always. And how do you develop interest? When you understand what it's making you or how important it is. That's how you develop interest. It's not the thing that has to give you interest. It's if you are trying to derive satisfaction from that practice, it's not going to give you anything. So Baba says that you have to pay attention to yoga. And sometimes people think that meditating is a very beautiful experience. No, it's not. Because with meditation there comes struggle with Maya. because Maya is not allowing you to sit and remember Baba and feel the peace and love all at one go. Maya is sitting to disturb you. And I remember there was one Mata, and I saw her. She used to sit online, and the class would begin at 5:30 in the evening, and she would sit at 4:45. And as soon as she sat for yoga, she would keep the video open, and as soon as she sat for yoga, her son would come, and her son was very little. And what he would do is he would jump up and down, crawl up and down all over her, and he would insert his finger into her eyes and her nose, and he would slap her. And he would keep doing all this every day for full 45 minutes. And this Mata would just sit still and remember Baba. And this happened for, I think, 1.5 months. And then the son stopped coming and disturbing her. The son just stopped coming and disturbing her. And then when the son came to the center, I asked him, why did you stop? You were doing such great things online, and we were all watching you. And then he said, she's not responding at all. She's not looking at me. So, this is how Maya works. You have to ignore it. So, there'll be thoughts, there'll be things happening with your body, there'll be, your hand will start aching, your shoulder will start aching, your leg will start aching, your mind will go crazy, all these things will happen. Or there'll be external things. But what you have to do is you have to keep remembering Baba. And it's not a beautiful process in the beginning. There's a lot of struggle. And it takes a lot of time to, and then, the Maya also keeps changing forms. So Maya will keep shifting its form. So you see, there was this one Mata, and she was meditating every day at 3 a.m. So 3 to 5, every day she remembered Baba. And then her husband, in his job, he had a shift which starts at 5 a.m. now. So then her husband says, you anyway get up at 3, so you cook and get things ready for me until 5. Because I have to go and take office. So she said, but that's my meditation time. So I said, no, but you can meditate later. So then they had a fight. And then she said, no, but you see, if I didn't wake up. So he said, oh, if you didn't, that was okay. But now you do. So you are waking up. So why will you not cook my lunch and breakfast and give me? So then she got very angry with Baba. And she left the practice, and then she cooks in the morning, and then she got so angry with Baba, she stopped reading the Murli also. And then in that fit of rage, she has stopped doing everything. And now after 1.5 months, she has realized that was not a good decision. And now she's again trying to go back to practicing in the evening, so that she can again build up the momentum. Now you see, the thing is, Baba always says that Maya will come. So when Maya comes, don't blame Baba. Because this is your struggle. These things will happen. This is your struggle, and then you have to outsmart Maya. So I said, why didn't you think of getting up at 2? You were anyway getting up at 3, right? So why didn't you think of getting up at 2? And you could have meditated for 1 hour and then did this stuff and then you went to sleep because she was not working and her husband went to office. She could have slept after that. So she said, but I didn't think about it. So I said, because you got upset. Why did you get upset? So she said, I thought I've been meditating for so long, Baba is not helping me. So I said, no, this is not the way. Baba always says that you will have to outsmart Maya until the end. So if Maya poses one challenge, you think about the antidote. You don't start questioning Baba. Baba, why is this happening? I've been a good BK and now you're not even siding with me. So that's not how it works. So Baba says that you have to keep remembering Baba, and you have to keep remembering Baba despite the challenges, and that is the only way to transform sanskars. Because when you remember the ocean of virtues and powers, only then that which is not virtuous and not powerful in you will go away. Yes, and we always give this beautiful example in this thing that, you know, when you have to, if I give you a bucket of muddy water and tell you that you have to clean it without without turning it upside down, you can't turn it upside down and clean it, but clean the bucket of the water keeping it straight. Then what do? You open a fresh water tap on it, and then that water slowly, gradually displaces the muddy water. So it is similar with our old sanskars. You cannot drive away the old sanskars. The more you remember Baba, who is the ocean of virtues and power, these old sanskars will get merged and the powerful sanskars in you will emerge. So Baba says the only way to change sanskars is through yoga. Then there is a question, if the person is not in Gyan, how can we change their sanskars? You don't need to change their sanskars. Nobody can change anybody's sanskars. Baba also cannot change my sanskar if I don't sit and remember Baba. You have to understand one thing. You cannot do anything to anybody. You can motivate them to do something for themselves. So you see, there are many people who come, I want my husband to leave alcohol. Does your husband want to leave alcohol? So they say they want to leave me, not alcohol. So you can't make your husband leave alcohol. Your husband has to want to leave alcohol. And if he wants to drink, you can't stop them. You can stop them from drinking before you, in front of you. But you can't stop them from drinking because they'll drink on the sly. So if you shout at somebody, get very violent, they will not do it in front of you, but they'll do it. So what you have to do is motivate somebody enough so that they understand that this is what is harming them and they have to do this for themselves. And how do you motivate them? So when you uphold the virtues and powers in yourself and they feel the happiness and peace that you are enjoying in your life and they are not, then they feel motivated. Yes. So, and if you look like a struggler and you look like somebody who's very unhappy with this whole process of, somebody told me that, I have many problems, but at least I'm not a BK and that's good. So I said, why? Because with these problems, now I'll have the problem of getting up in the morning also and going to center also. So that is also another problem. So I said, who have you seen? So they say, somebody in our family, and every day they struggle to get up, every day they struggle to. So you see that if your struggles are internal, and if you're able to, with by using gyan, you're able to resonate in peace and happiness outside, only then can you motivate somebody to take up the lifestyle, to take up the practice of yoga. But if you yourself look like a very unhappy person who has to get up, has to do this, has to do that, then nobody will choose to do that. Yes, so this is the only way to help others change sanskars. Okay, Om Shanti.